Hello aspirants, welcome to our channel Disc Civil Services in Detail, guiding aspirants to become officers. Let's begin our session of The Hindu Current Affairs Analysis and Answer Writing Strategies of July 1st, 2025. As we always begin our sessions with the most impactful quotes, here it is the one. Working together, tiny stars light the universe. That's the power of teamwork. The reason for adding this quote is it's really applicable and relatable to us because here both you and us, our team, are working together as a team to make your dreams come true. मतलब आप जिस एग्ज़ाम में अपना बेस्ट दे के अच्छा रैंक पाके एक अच्छा गुड पोजीशन में गुड जॉब के लिए ट्राई कर रहे हैं, in that journey we are really working hard for you and it's kind of thriving together for making those dreams come true. So the reason for adding this quote is like we should work as a team and you should definitely reach all your dreams. So let's see the first topic, and before that I just thought to give a few techniques of answer writing and a few techniques of notes making. As I always suggest you, first most important thing which you have to do, एक नोट्स रखिए एक्सक्लूसिवली फॉर करंट अफेयर्स सेशंस ऑफ द हिंदू के लिए. एंड व्हाट यू विल डू, वॉट एवर आई एम टीचिंग हियर इन द क्लास, you should at any cost write it there, and if possible try to write the running notes too, because I'm giving lots of synopsis. Sometimes I'm writing on the board and sometimes I may not be able to cope up with the speed through which I'm going through. सो उस टाइम में कुछ पॉइंट्स मैं नहीं लिखूंगी तो आपको मिस नहीं होना चाहिए, इसलिए ट्राई टू डेवलप द हैबिट ऑफ राइटिंग रनिंग नोट्स. रनिंग नोट्स लिखने के वजह से यहाँ 3 तरीके के नोट्स लिखना आपको ज़रूरी है. वन इज़ लाइक राइटिंग द रनिंग नोट्स वाइल द क्लास इज गोइंग ऑन एंड योर हैंड रिटन सिंप्लीफाइड टॉपिक्स नोट्स. हैंड रिटन सिंप्लीफाइड टॉपिक्स मतलब जो भी आप पढ़ रहे हो उसको सिंप्लीफाई करके अपने हैंड रिटन में सिंप्लीफाइड नोट्स एक फाइनल क्रक्स लिखिए. और फाइनल वन इज लाइक क्रक्स ऑफ द टॉपिक. इसके लिए मतलब नोट्स मेकिंग इज डिफरेंट काइंड्स होता है. रनिंग नोट्स लिखना वाइल क्लास इज गोइंग ऑन, while attending classes, and handwritten simplified notes after single reading or second reading. This is one style. And finally it is like crux of the writing topics crux exclusively for doing that revisions before एग्जाम्स के पहले रिविजन करने के लिए. सो दिस इज वन टॉपिक विच आई थॉट टू एक्सप्लेन यू टुडे. फोकस ऑन रनिंग नोट्स बिकॉज जितना ज़्यादा लिखोगे वाइल रीडिंग और वाइल लिसनिंग द क्लास इट विल बी मच मोर हेल्पफुल फॉर यू टू कीप दैट ऑलवेज इन योर माइंड. मतलब इट विल बी लाइक एक विजुअल इम्पैक्ट स्ट्रांगली पड़ेगा जहाँ आपको बहुत हेल्प होगा कि प्रेजेंटिंग दोज थिंग्स वेल. एंड येस, एज आई ऑलवेज मेंशन आंसर राइटिंग स्ट्रैटेजीज हैं. तो हाउ टू डेवलप दैट आंसर राइटिंग स्ट्रैटेजीज, अगेन टॉपिक सुनने के बाद ट्राई टू फ्रेम ए क्वेश्चन ऑन योर सेल्फ. और एल्स अगर हम कुछ क्वेश्चन पोस्ट कर रहे हैं अपने टेलीग्राम ऑफिशियल टेलीग्राम चैनल में, आई एम अगेन रिमाइंडिंग यू, गो टू द ऑफिशियल टेलीग्राम चैनल एंड check out the PDFs, questions, quizzes, everything whatever we are providing there. You must and should have to write it in your current affair notes. There we are providing lots of content. यहाँ तो हम classes बताते हैं, explain करते हैं, लेकिन other than that there's lots of need for the authentic information, data, facts and all these things, no? So we provide all those things at the Telegram official channel. Just go there एंड ऑफिशियल टेलीग्राम चैनल का नाम रहेगा अगेन सेम, disc_civilservicesindetail रहेगा. You can check it out and you can download all the important topics which we are posting. सो आंसर राइटिंग स्ट्रैटेजीज कैसा होना चाहिए? क्वेश्चंस फ्रेम करने के बाद यू शुड गो विथ फ्यू इम्पोर्टेंट stages or steps or techniques, like you should definitely understand, read twice the question. This is one most important topic. Read twice question, then understand what is examiner expecting from you as an aspirant, as well as present your conclusions and suggestions as a bureaucrat. फ्यूचर ब्यूरोक्रेट बनने के बाद आप कौन सा सॉल्यूशन या कंक्लूजन या सजेशन दोगे? यू ट्राई टू कोट इट देयर. एंड थर्ड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग, it is the main thing, how far you are trying to reach the demand of the question. मतलब आपका आंसर should be highly relevant. It's not like question is something about and you are writing something else because you are not aware about the material. Content. Something they asked about the international relations or global landscape about or something related to India, West Asia position कैसा है, तो क्या relations, what's happening and all these things, and you are not aware what's happening, but you know what's happening with India with Pakistan or India with China, and you will write something related to this. आपको लगेगा कि you are writing okay, you at least try to attempt, but that's not work out because that's not relevant. So relevance is very much important. ये जो भी पूछे हैं उसके हिसाब से उसके डिमांड को टच करते हुए हाईली ऑथेंटिक रेलेवेंट मैटर देना चाहिए. एंड फाइनली मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज keywords and terminologies, as well as whenever you are writing or doing revisions or something, try to inculcate these diagrams in your answers as well as in your notes, because it gives that extra 1 mark. So this is what I wanted to explain today, because notes मुझे बहुत मालूम है कि you will just put that class in 2x speed and the class will be going on and you are listening while traveling. Of course, if you are working, if you are not in a situation to sit and write and listen, that's different. But दिन भर खाली बैठ के भी, खाली रह के भी, मतलब instead of focusing on preparation, revision, running notes and notes making and all these things, if someone is putting that class in the 2x speed or 1.75 speed and वहाँ क्लास चलता रहेगा, आप सुनते रहोगे, आप और कुछ काम करते रहोगे, भगवान जाने आपके दिमाग में क्या जा रहा, आप क्या समझ रहे हो, क्या पढ़ रहे हो, क्या लिख रहे हो. This should not be the case. This should not be the attitude. When you are doing something, stick to that, focus on that. No, don't try to do that multitasking while studying or reading. Focus should be at least 80% on your topics which you are revising and studying, because the Hindu is the one such area where current affairs, almost whether it's a prelims or mains, every topic Hindu cover karta hai. And if you really doing so well, that analysis part, that notes making part, that revision part, trust me, it will help you to score at least 30% marks in your overall preparation, overall journey. Matlab, if you are really doing Hindu well, you will be able to score more than 30%, whether it's in prelims, whether it's in mains, whether it's in interview. Just imagine the weightage, the accuracy and the significance of the Hindu. That is the reason I am doing this, and I am sincerely adding the slides, because most of the students who are residing in rural places or far away from the cities, they may not be able to get this paper. उनको पेपर आता नहीं है, and even online में उतना अच्छा पढ़ के समझ के they can't be able to do this analysis, because the vocabulary, the terminology, the research presented in the Hindu is not that easy. It definitely needs one mentor or one faculty to tackle and to handle. इसलिए हमने बहुत सोच के समझ के हिंदू सीरीज को स्टार्ट किया है. Trust me, doing GS topics or something related to high probable topics is much more easier than doing the Hindu, because to prepare, to present and to make आप तक आके उसको रीच करने के लिए दी हिंदू एक क्लास जब हम करते हैं, it takes at least more than 2.5 to 3 hours for us to prepare and to present it. And in that 2.5 to 3 hours, we can do extraordinary other topics, other optionals, other content related, other material related. So just imagine we are presenting, मतलब हमें पढ़ने के लिए 1 घंटा लगता है, आपको समझा के क्लास बता के उसके रेलेवेंट टॉपिक्स को 360 डिग्रीज डायमेंशन को सबको आपको समझाने के लिए और 1 घंटा लगता है, और बाद में उसको पूरा एडिटिंग करके अपलोड करके आप तक भेजने के लिए और एक आधा घंटा से 40 मिनट्स. सो जस्ट इमेजिन द हार्ड वर्क, द एनर्जी टाइम वी आर पुटिंग. उतना एफर्ट इसलिए रख रहे हैं बिकॉज इट कैरीज दिस 30% weightage, and it is really important for you to go through, because this is one such area where you can score more. So I hope it's clear. हिंदू करना है, क्यों करना है, I'll explain. कैसे करना है, I explained already through notes making and all these things. And करने के बाद आंसर राइटिंग डेवलपिंग कैसे करना है, it's exclusively for mains. And prelims का तो आपको मालूम है, you will write it all the important facts and data and you will keep on revising. So let's see the first most important article of the day. PM Modi's 5-nation tour to focus on defense, Africa outreach and multilaterals. So whenever India से कहीं कोई बाहर जा रहा है या कहीं बाहर से कोई इंडिया आ रहा है, first thing you should do, yes, international relations बोल के heading रखोगे, and you will write India on one side and that nation on other side. And what you will do, you will give the complete analysis, crux like part. जैसे कि first you will talk about the historical background. Historical background of what? Those both nations. मतलब he is in this particular article, he is going to 5 different nations. For example, it is about Africa. So you will definitely talk about India, Africa relations, exclusively historical background. Then you will be talking about those common groupings or common nations. मतलब what are the nations where India and Africa are common groups, like BRICS, where South Africa and India are the members. So example BRICS hai. And other than that, you will be talking about bilateral, multilateral relations. This is one such important area. And finally, you will be talking about these collaborations. What are the collaborations both the nations are doing? So what are the common areas? Challenges क्या है? As well as common areas क्या है? जहाँ they are working together to develop. And what are the different kinds of MOUs or agreements which they both signed? वो एक बार देखोगे. And what are the recent observations, वो एक बार देखोगे. And it's वे फॉरवर्ड, मतलब आगे जाके क्या करना चाह रहा है वो एक बार देखोगे. उसके साथ साथ यू विल बी checking out these exercises, agreements and all these things. And finally you will be giving that why in news, either in starting you will write in 2 to 3 lines, or in ending you can add it in conclusion, like because of this is in news, so this is what happening and this is what you're going to observe. मतलब आपका observation या suggestion जो भी है वो वहाँ लिखोगे. तो here they are exclusively talking about ये जो 5 nation theory अभी, sorry, 5 nations he is going to focus exclusively, he is focusing on defense, rare earth minerals. I hope you remember this Kazakhstan rare earth minerals का एक हम बात कर रहे थे, as well as Ukraine and USA were also trying to sign this rare earth minerals and all. And yes, you should definitely know about this National Critical Minerals Mission, which is India recently started. वो एक बार देख लीजिए. And what are the other areas they are focusing on? Terrorism, ये बहुत ज़्यादा बात कर रहे हैं हम, as well as cooperation on साउथ टू साउथ, एज वेल एज इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन जो भी है वो भी हम बहुत ज़्यादा बात कर रहे हैं. इसको इस एरिया में एक्सक्लूसिवली फोकसिंग ऑन दिस मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी, कंट्रोलिंग दिस पायरेसी, एंड यस ग्लोबल चैलेंजेस लाइक एनवायरमेंटल कंजर्वेशन जो भी है, जैसे कि ग्लोबल हेल्थ, global warming, climate change, these areas also we are focusing. And other than that, there are other areas like health, artificial intelligence and all, where these nations are exclusively doing exchange of what it's called technology or people to people collaborations and all these things. So yes, other than this, energy, trade, agriculture, all these are other areas, as I already mentioned. So these are the few areas where we generally focus on, and renewable sources and all these things. Yes. So coming back to the article, in these 5 days he is going to visit 5 nations tour covering Ghana, Trinidad, Tobago, Argentina, Brazil and Namibia. Whenever, if he is going somewhere or somewhere like PM or president or a minister of external affairs, first thing you should do, go and check in your map or atlas location of those nations. It is very much important. So what are the boundaries, or what are the important rivers, or what are the important mountains or locations, especially in these 5 nations, that you will do. मतलब घाना में क्या है सिग्निफिकेंट फीचर्स ज्योग्राफी का, वो एक बार देखोगे. एज वेल एज आर देयर एनी पर्टिकुलर रिलेशंस और पर्टिकुलर प्रीवियस विजिट्स between these two nations, between India Ghana, India Trinidad, India Tobago, वो एक बार देखोगे. And I already mentioned, ये एक जो है, this you will do, this is very much important. ये स्टाइल एक बार आप करोगे. This is one more area. And yes, other than that, in this particular visit, is he going to sign any particular agreement, or is he going to do any kind of bilateral exchanges, or is he going to attend any significant event, वो एक बार देख लोगे. Because from this only they will focus on asking questions exclusively on international relations, and recently places in news बोल के, these are the kind of questions they frame. So now coming again back to the article, he exclusively talking about, in this article, Brazil has Scorpion submarines, they are interested in partnering with us. So in broadly speaking, Brazilian side we are focusing on defense, and yes, they also are interested in our Akash air defense system and Garuda artillery guns and all. So it's exclusively about, they are focusing on defense. And yes, cooperation between India and Brazil is since long time, it's really going well. So what are the other areas they are focusing, again because of this session of BRICS nation on July 6th, which is going to take place. They will discuss the reform of the global governance. This is one such area. You have to write it in your notes, and also check what is the theme of this BRICS which is going to take place on. And other terms which they are focusing on: peace and security, as I already mentioned, environment, COP30 and global health. These are the one few areas. ये COP30 भी आप एक बार लिख लीजिए. Other than that, and there are few other areas where they are focusing exclusively when he is visiting Argentina. Defense, rare earth minerals, agriculture, like I already said. And when he is visiting Ghana, the areas where he is focusing exclusively will be like depending same upon developing these bilateral and multilateral relations. Other than that, agriculture, building a vaccine development hub in West Africa is one of the uh, most important key features where he is going to focus on this visit to Ghana. Here it has been mentioned, just check it out. So whenever any article comes, this is how you have to read, analyze, अंडरस्टैंड एंड मेक ए नोट्स. मतलब आर्टिकल आप पढ़ोगे, ये जो पूरा राइट साइड में मैंने यहाँ दिया है उस काइंड ऑफ एनालिसिस करोगे, एंड हाईलाइट्स ऑफ द टॉपिक्स क्या है वो एक बार देखोगे, एंड एज वेल एज मैप क्या है वो देखोगे. सो दीज आर द 3 स्टेप्स यू हैव टू डू. Indian economy remains a key driver of global growth. RBI report. The reason for exclusively adding this particular topic is RBI report, where they are talking about financial stability report. So we all know, every time at least 1 or 2 questions comes in your competitive exams about these reports and indices. So as I already mentioned, reports and indices, these rankings and these factors which contribute, all these are important. You should definitely make a list of all these reports, or else you go to our YouTube channel and check, they have been presented all these list of reports, rankings, indices. So for here, they have come up with few observations talking about this macroeconomic fundamentals. Do little bit of basics of your economy, how this RBI generates these reports, and what are the functions of RBI's role and responsibilities, and what are the functions, etc. And how they calculate this global growth and all these things, and what are the reasons because of this stability, or else this growth is giving it a pace. So yes, he already mentioned about few inflation related particular points also, where the domestic financial system is continuously improving even after having lots of geopolitical conflicts or capital outputs or reciprocal trade, all these things. Of course, they are posing a threat, but still we are rising. It's a good feature, and mainly because of the functioning and because of those focus on developing core macroeconomic fundamentals as well as the prudent policies. This is what it is talking about. For now, you should definitely focus on this report. This is very important from prelims point of view. Yes, from mains point of view, to check out the factors which are responsible for the growth, and as well as challenges which are they are facing to handle and to improve further. So what is the GDP, what is the GNP, what is the NNP, all this comes under your basics. Just go and check once. 683 species added to India's fauna, 433 taxa to its flora during 2024. When you are reading, you might have come across environment, especially from environment. Species plays a key role, whether it's in prelims or whether it's in mains. Environment has huge weightage, whether it's related to forest acts or conservation techniques or international or national organizations, all these things. Environment is one such area where it focuses lot on conservation, focuses lots on preservation of these, what it's called, handling these pollution related aspects and all these things, as well as by these biosphere, biodiversity, biosphere reserves, Ramsar sites, species. This carries huge weightage. So whenever any article, especially this factual kind of data comes, you try to make a note, because these facts you may not get again, and if there is something repeatedly coming in newspaper, you should definitely should know about it, as I already mentioned, because this carries a huge weightage. So coming back to the article, India added 683 new species to fauna in 2024, which included 459 new species and 224 species new records. So this is the few facts and data which they have given, and other than that, the maximum number of, it's about 224 records. So they have come up with few states and species related information. So what are the states with highest species recorded? Of course, Kerala, followed by Karnataka, and then Tamil Nadu recorded 63 with 63, where 50 are the new species and 13 are the new records. This is the one. In east and northeast, Arunachal Pradesh is the one which has been recorded highest number of species. Later, Meghalaya is the one, and after that, West Bengal discoveries are the one. So it's one top area. These kind of things we have discussed when we were discussed about IFSR report. Indian Forest Survey report जब हम बात कर रहे थे, we have discussed these kind of things. So yes, Andaman Nicobar Islands and their biological hotspot in the country recorded highest number of species, that is 43. No one will come and ask you how many species you have identified or how many new discoveries, number of new discoveries, 14 hai, 29 hai, 53 hai, yet 72 hai. No one asks. But yes, they may ask you the states मतलब name of the states और chronology of the states kind of things. इसलिए मैं आपको ये factual data बता रही हूँ. You should know. So that in terms of plants discoveries, अभी तक मैंने जो भी बताया था, it's related to species. And in the terms of plants, as I already mentioned, you should go through once of our Indian Forest Survey report highlights also, which have been uploaded in our YouTube channel. So Kerala, Maharashtra, Uttarakhand are the one with highest, as well as a few states like hotspot regions such as Western Ghats, northeastern regions have contributed nearly 35% of total discoveries. So you here understand the importance of Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, and what are these hotspot regions exclusively in India, in world. You just, if possible, एक बार देख लीजिए. And other than that, they again talking about these reptiles. So what are the names of these reptiles has been given here. Just एक बार देख लीजिए. And what are the orchid species names have been given. If you are writing something related to Indian engineering services or biology or something related to these plant or plant related studies, you can quote these as examples. Yes, next article, Amravati to have operational quantum computing. The one who are writing state level services like AP or something, state related facts and data is very much important. So for the first time where they are focusing on global quantum artificial intelligence movement हो रहा है, and where AP is going to be the key player. So quantum mission, what is AI, what is quantum vision, what is these other important points where they are focusing to develop exclusively in the technology sector. All these things you should just revise once. Police resort to Late Chaujan tribal villages in Jharkhand on Hul Divas. So when you are writing something related to ethical or history or ethical studies or anthropology or sociology option बच्चे, ट्राइबल स्टडीज बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. एंड यस, इट प्लेस a very key role in your these movements, exclusively revolutions, revolts, movements, and all these plays a key role in your modern history too. So yes, coming back to the article, the reason for adding this slide is Hul Divas, which they celebrate exclusively to commemorate this 1855 Santhal rebellion. So whenever I add some slide or I give some inputs, it's your responsibility to go and check why in news and what is the reason ma'am added. So ma'am add kare hain, so it might be high probable, we might get a question on this. So here the keyword is Hul Divas, which they celebrate to commemorate, as I already mentioned, Santal rebellion, and which it is the village hometown of these tribal icons, Sidho and Kanhu, who were the heroes of this movement. So every year they come, they protest and they stage and they talk about these their sacrifices and how this protest should be done against administration of these British people and all these things. So now this time it is in news because police का लाठीचार्ज हुआ है and people got this to make them disperse. They used gas shells and all these things. So how far it's right, ये एक बार न्यूज़ में है, देख लीजिए. But here again I am mentioning, ये दिवस एक बार आप याद रख लीजिए. You may get a question on asking significance of Hul Divas, or they may ask you why particular sect of people in Jharkhand celebrate Hul Divas, or Hul Divas has been in news because of this bolke. They may get a question, you may get a question. So just go through once. Yes. After Indore man's murder, hiring guides made mandatory for tourists visiting Meghalaya. It's exclusively the reason for adding this is now in northeastern region we focusing lot on development. When we were discussing previous articles exclusively on connectivity between northeast to the rest of the India, tourism was the main focus area where they have coming up with different initiatives for developing this economy. Generation hoga from there, employment will be generated. From there, livelihood will be better livelihood they will be getting. From there, good conditions as well as cultural exchange hoga, as well as they will get a connectivity through which they will get better conditions of this health, education and all these things. So administration, especially center, is focusing lot on bringing huge development exclusively in northeastern region. ये हमने बात की थी previous आर्टिकल्स में. तो ये आर्टिकल में रिसेंटली एक इंसिडेंट हुआ था विद आई डोंट वांट टू रिपीट अगेन बिकॉज इट्स टेक लॉट्स ऑफ टाइम एंड एनर्जी, हमने ऑलरेडी बात कर चुका है. सो नाउ हियर this incident, particular incident sparked row, and there even the environment ministry, tourism ministry came forward and given few statements. People should not fear, people should not get panic. They can happily come and explore the beauty of this northeast region or Meghalaya, these Khasi hills and all these things. क्योंकि वो इंसिडेंट होने के बाद it given lots of impact on tourism, especially tourists were hesitating to come. When Pahalgam terror attack happened, same thing happened to those regions also, where the people, local people, exclusively dependent on the tourism sector. So it given a huge impact on their livelihood as well as an economy generation. उस टाइम में भी few peoples, famous personalities came forward and said, yes, पहलगाम हमारा है, जम्मू कश्मीर हमारा है, हम अपने देश को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए आते जाते रहेंगे. हम किसी आतंकवादी के लिए डर के या किसी मतलब, सॉरी टू यूज सच काइंड ऑफ वर्ड्स, हम किसी को डर के वी शुड नॉट टेक our nation's growth as back, मतलब पीछे नहीं हटा सकते हैं kind of. And they came lot with lots of awareness and giving lots of speeches, everything. Even the locals of Pahalgam said this, tourist जम्मू कश्मीर की जान है, and killing innocent peoples is not at all acceptable. It's completely against the ideology of the Islam on the name of which you are doing this bolke. There were lots of discussions went. So the reason I'm again discussing about all these things is whenever any kind of this unfortunate incidents happen, directly it goes impact on the tourism sector, which is giving livelihood to the local people. So when you are writing something related to mains exclusively on this regional development or local communities development or अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज कैसे एक्ट करना चाहिए, अवेयरनेस कैसे होना चाहिए, सेफ्टी एंड सिक्योरिटी ऑफ द पीपल हु आर कमिंग टू एक्सप्लोर द ब्यूटी ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर रीजन, all these points you have to mention in your answer. And in conclusion, you should definitely say India is a place with diverse, मतलब इतना diversity है both in culture, both in the terms of geography. We should utilize the potential, we should explore it for the development of the both nation and individual. In particular, you have to quote these incident as case studies, just in 1 to 2 lines. I hope it's clear. So again, after this row, hiring guides mandatory because tourists should not get this fear and they should not get panic bolke. Administration is also planning to deploy more trained guides. So more trained guides मतलब क्या होगा? Again I already mentioned, more economy development होगा and more employment generation होगा. From there it will be helpful for their better livelihood conditions. Cultural exchange होगा and it will be giving again for the growth of that particular region. मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा career based और growth based outdoor activities, indoor activities and art and craft का सब कुछ का वहाँ growth and improvement होगा. This is what this particular incident you can take it as an example. As I already mentioned, Pahalgam issue. So these Amarnath pilgrims opt Pahalgam route even after having this shot of this 22 attack. So something relevant to Amarnath yatra या चारधाम यात्रा हो, बद्रीनाथ का, all these things are pilgrims की मतलब belief system को और यहाँ safety and security of the nation को and how these people are improving awareness as well as increasing or generating economy exclusively for the local. all these aspects you should just cover from your point of view. And as I already mentioned, these kind of religious gatherings like महाकुंभ हुआ था, रथ यात्रा होता है भुवनेश्वर में, and these अमरनाथ यात्रा and all these things, it's not only having the spiritual and devotional vibes, it's also kind of spreading the traditional, cultural and the values of मतलब हमारा जो इंडियन सिस्टम का कल्चर और ट्रेडिशन है उसको ग्लोबल लेवल में, ग्लोबल प्लेस में शोइंग इट विथ ए वेरी पेक्यूलियर उसका जो सिग्निफिकेंस है उसको बताना होता है. एंड यस, when you are reading something like this, you should also include the dimension of disaster management, crowd management and preparedness, safety and all these things, security arrangements, etc. Pharma unit explosion, local people take charge of emergency response. This happened in Hyderabad recently, and it is exclusively talking about industry, Indian industry and safety regulation by government regulators. So it is such an unfortunate incident happened, and it's happened in the manufacturing industry, sorry, unit. You try to quote it as a case study or example in your answer related to disaster management. The reason for adding this is that India fast tracks 52 satellites for precision surveillance following Operation Sindhu. So 52 mein again they are parting. Just imagine, first 21 satellites will be developed from ISRO and second 31 will be developed by the private players, because when this Operation Sindhu happened, our satellite based surveillance helped Indian defense forces to act swiftly by offering accurate intelligence and trajectory and movement of these drones and missiles and everything. Especially the Cartosat and RESAT helped defense forces to track enemy mobilization and confirming strike impact, etc. So now the nation is focusing a lot, especially our defense space agency is coming up with lots of improvements exclusively in this defense sector. Even the budget allocations were also, they are really focusing lot, because if any incident happens like this we should be prepared. मतलब हमें इतना strong अपने खुद को project करना है कि yes we are ready for. So these are the reasons they are coming up with the different kinds of launches and all these things improvements. Bihar has consistently fallen behind in registering birds. So as per 2009 civil registration system report compiled by this RGI, the level of registration of births in Bihar stood at 3.7. मतलब इतना कम register हो रहा है, reason क्या है? Or what is this? See, this lots of discussion is going on. This Bihar election commissions, this voters play and this birth मतलब 2000 के बाद में ये voters and births का registration कम हुआ है kind of things. It's a kind of one topic directly or indirectly related to another topic. So I'll do one thing, instead of discussing it here and making confusion, there are also two other editorials given on this Bihar elections, this voters calculation and all. I'll release it as a separate article. Pakistan calls upon India to restore Indus Water Treaty. And in the cancellation of Indus Water Treaty was one among the call taken because of this in response to Pahalgam terror attack. Indus Water Treaty का जो भी class है, everything clearly, detailedly explained and uploaded in our official YouTube channel. You just go check what are the Indus rivers, what are the left bank tributaries and what are the right bank tributaries, and how this partition of water has been done, and what is this permanent court of arbitration is at Hague is saying, and how this World Bank mediated, and what's happening between India and Pakistan exclusively related to these waters. वो एक बार देख लीजिए. ये आर्टिकल में ये बता रहा है कि they want us to restore in this water treaty. China says border dispute with India complicated, ready for delimitation talks. When Dhoklam, standoff, de-escalation, all these things taken place during 2024, वो सितंबर के और दिसंबर के बीच में जो भी डिस्कशंस हुआ था, we have extensively discussed about India China relations. एंड इंडिया चाइना रिलेशंस बात करते वक्त आप ये भी बात करोगे साउथ साउथ कनेक्टिविटी, इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन, दिस साउथ चाइना रीजन एंड हाउ इट इज कनेक्टिंग डिफरेंट, मतलब ग्लोबल लैंडस्केप आप एक्सप्लेन करोगे. As well as in this particular article, they have recently met and discussing about this Shanghai Cooperation Organization Kingdom में जो हुआ था मीटिंग, उसमें बात करते वक्त they were exclusively focusing on bilateral talks, and again from there, from bilateral talks they are focusing exclusively on border management, border communication, better maintenance of what is negotiations and dealings. जो भी border issues है उसको resolve करने के लिए they are coming up and focusing on. So this is one as such area. Coast Guard Cooperation Initiative launched by Quad Nations. First most important thing आपको जानना होगा what are the Quad Nations which was in recently news. India, Japan. You may get a question, which of the following nations are Quad nations, or which of the following are not part of Quad nations kind of. So these are the Quad nations. आपको याद रहना चाहिए. So these four are the Quad nations, and they launched at Sea Ship Observation Mission. Sorry, Sea Ship Observer Mission. Just imagine, मैंने आपको बहुत बार बताया था, we are focusing lot on Indo-Pacific regions stability, and getting command over Indo-Pacific region is one of the most important target of India, where we are focusing on this maritime security के बहुत ज़्यादा focus कर रहे हैं exclusively. ये हमारा strong zone है where it connects us with the whole other parts of the world. So these nations came up with these initiatives exclusively to improve and to deepen the maritime cooperation as well as security in that particular region. And it reinforces joint military readiness through interoperability, awareness, coordination and all these things. That's it, nothing more than that. So the coast guards of these nations has been taken part. It's a first of its kind of initiative, वो भी लिख लोगे. And yes, the reason for adding these articles exclusively on faith, you can quote these an example and try to inculcate them in your relevant ethics answers. Navy stealth frigate INS Tabar extend help to tanker on fire. So NTE Cheng on Sunday, उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुआ था, कुछ मेजर फायर इंसिडेंट कुछ हुआ था, तो immediately this INS Tabar went and we extended help. So when something related to this comes, you should understand what is the class to which INS Tabar belongs to, name of the class, as well as what are the other classes. This is how you have to think and generate answers for your questions again. So what are the other classes, like जैसे कि कलावरी है, kind of example. And what about this project 75, and what about this project 75B? So what are these other INS Vikrant क्या है? All these things you just give a basic revision. मतलब something came into news regarding INS Tabar. This is how you have to think, analyze and do revision. India to get above normal rain in July forecast. This is kind of highlight, and here the reason for adding this is like during this agricultural operations above normal or nearly 6% का ये जो होने वाला है rainfall, it's okay, and several states including Chhattisgarh, Orissa, Telangana are going to be watch this heavy rainfall. Now climate exclusively geography में जाके something related to this आया, आपको as a normal reader you will get able to understand, okay, these are the areas where they are going to witness the heavy rainfall. Even we have seen cloudburst and heavy rainfall in Kerala. Wayanad is slides देखे हैं, सिक्किम में देखे हैं, नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन में देखे हैं. Now we are going to witness this in central and south part of the nation. Now इसको और थोड़ा अपने तरीके से पढ़ो, जैसे कि क्लाइमेट चैप्टर में जाके rainfall related aspects. What are the types of clouds? जैसे कि cumulonimbus, cirrus, all these things, and how this rainfall, their kinds of rainfall, and how do they calculate? What are the consequences? What are the causes? What happens? All these things, and clouds, types of clouds, and the effects and consequences, impacts of the different kinds of cloudbursts and रीजन्स वो एक बार देखो. क्लाइमेट ऑफ डिफरेंट रीजन्स एक बार देखो. क्लाइमेट बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. अदर देन दैट, हाउ दिस मानसून्स, winds, currents, all these things plays a crucial role. Exclusively this weather forecasting, all these things एक बार देख लो. And yes, the most important and always favorite topic of UPSC, La Nina, El Nina, ek baar dekho. See here, this article is exclusively talking about above normal rainfall situation has been observed by IMD in few reasons. But you as an aspirant, other than studying the particular article and getting the information, this is how you have to think, analyze, and do that analytical part. Inculcate that in your brain, developing that habit of doing analysis, and try to write those points in your current affair notes. I hope it's clear. Center launches Vivek Startup Challenge exclusively aims to encourage the development of innovative artificial intelligence tools capable of real-time translation and translator voice localization and all these things, at least in 12 major Indian languages. So this is one fact you should know. Yeah, this is all about science quiz. Just go through, and if you feel like it will be relevant and helpful, just make a note. So Japan is one nation which recently launched this climate change observation satellite. You may get a question. What is this H2A, or what is this H3, or what is this H2A series, or all these things, or which of the following nation has been recently launched, or which of the following factors or observations has been done by this H3 rocket and all these things. So आपको जानना ज़रूरी है कि it has been launched by Japan. It's a series of satellites replacing one another, which is exclusively focusing on climate change related studies, where it's a series where made 4 consecutive successful flights after a failed debut in 2023. And on June 29, 2025, another climate change monitoring satellites has been successfully launched into the global space market. That's it. So other than that, one more important, GOSAT GW, or Global Observing Satellite for Greenhouse Gases and Water Cycle, is a third series in the mission to monitor carbon, methane and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. ये बहुत ज़्यादा important है. Please check once. 100 years ago, 50 years ago, the reason for adding, I always tell, add as in case studies. Okay, in a perilous world, India must read the tea leaves well. It's exclusively talking about foreign policy, and these different kinds of conflicts and different kinds of happenings around us. Iran, Israel, these nuclear attacks, and what's happening in Trump 2.0 administration, how it is going to shape the world scenario, what is this national armament system is all about, and what is this Trump's Make America Great Again is all about, how India is going to handle all these different kinds of global issues and still trying to build itself as a top leader. So correct reading of these tea leaves as they exist at present is essential for India's present and its future. So it's exclusively about India, global, other, one to one nations. I'll do one thing. Uh, I'll do a separate article on exclusively editorials and release them as an 5 minutes videos. So it's a kind of doing quick fix of these editorials which contains lots of synopsis, keywords, terminologies. Then it will be much more helpful for you to write extraordinary mains answer. मैं हमेशा बताती हूँ अगर आप मेंस में extraordinary marks score करना चाहते हो, editorial is the only area where you can score, through which you can score, where you can get lots of info and through which you can score extraordinary marks. So I'm going to write a neat detailed PDF or notes or something and I'm going to present it separate. Okay, GST 8 years successfully completed. So here he is come up with an article exclusively focusing on GST's observation and GST's how it evolved and what are the achievements and what are the happenings, how fault lines in taxation taking place and exclusively tobacco control के लिए इसने क्या किया, how it helped and all these things. It's a came up with few observations. You just go through the facts and data which he have given and he also mentioned about, see, when GST introduced, UPSC का बहुत ज़्यादा favorite topic था where they exclusively asked many questions even in prelims and mains on one nation one tax. So here again economically GST has been consistent contributor to national revenue where GST collections in 2024 to 25 reached a record of 22 lakh crores. So these are the kind of facts which you have to write it. It's really important. So elimination of cascading taxes through the input tax credit system is one and benefiting both business and consumers is the other area because of this GST taken place, as well as it came up with replacing different acts like different taxes like VAT, excise duty, service tax and all these things. So simple one nation, one election, one nation, one tax, one nation, one health, all these things are making India taking it on a single मतलब single stand पे रख के global level में एक top रखने के लिए all these kind of different initiatives. So taxation is globally recognized as one of the most effective instruments to reduce tobacco use. Yet since the introduction of GST, there have been no significant tax increase on tobacco products. So this stands as contrast to the pre-GST period of 2009 to 17. This is what one observation. And overall tax burden on tobacco products remain well below World Health Organization recommendation of 75% of the retail price. This is one accurate observation and facts given, and a few other observations how this World Health Organization is India is ratifying this WHO protocol and all these things. They have come up with few observations, facts, data points and all these things. अगर आपको एक particularly health perspective में लिख रहे हो तो you can quote this editorial as a one of the dimension focusing on tobacco's control of or uses of tobacco, control on the uses of tobacco, utilizing or using GST as a weapon, and what are the other observations and achievements of these GST, all these things you can just write it here in your notes. मैंने आपको already बताया है. This Bihar topic will be in news for the next coming days. We will be giving a complete picture as it's gonna be when there were elections happened in this Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, उस टाइम में भी बहुत सारा studies, observations, editorials आया था. Exclusively how this election commission is taking different kinds of decisions and all these things. Now we will be doing this one too. So again July 1st is Doctor's Day too. So here in this article he is talking about after this introduction of GST and introduction of this BNS, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. Celebration of this Doctor's Day thoda shadow ho gaya hai, and still there are lots of challenges in this field. So science become commerce, and especially after pandemic it's became a tough task, especially to handle these infectious and chronic diseases. एंड लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस की वजह से भी बहुत सारे क्रॉनिक डिसीजेस आ गए हैं, केयर रिक्वायर है और मॉरल डिसिप्लिन का भी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. एंड देर आर फ्यू एपिडेमोलॉजिकल ट्रांजिशन ongoing in many countries marked by delayed degenerative diseases and all these things. So how all these transitions can be taken, matlab since ages how this transformation of both matlab healthcare system, doctors, diseases, all these things he have clearly mentioned. मेरे ख्याल से it will give an idea what's happening, and something if you are writing related to some health related essay or something related to transformation of these post pandemic or pre pandemic kind of things, if you are writing something related to that, or if you are something related to industrial healthcare complex or healthcare system kind of things, you can quote these observations and statistics as an example. उससे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी नहीं है मतलब, लेकिन इसमें बहुत सारे कीवर्ड्स एंड ऑब्जर्वेशंस हैं. बंदा कैसे भी बहुत अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन किया है, आप एक बार देख के लिख लो इनपुट्स, दैट्स इट. एंड यस, दिस आर्टिकल इज एक्सक्लूसिवली फोकसिंग ऑन हाउ डू अनसेफ कैंसर ड्रग्स रीच पेशेंट्स. मतलब फ्रॉम द timeline, it's exclusively timeline talking about manufacturing to reaching the patient. मतलब मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करके पैक करके वो जो टाइमलाइन है, वो जो जर्नी है, बाय द टाइम इट इज रीचिंग टू द पेशेंट, is it still in a condition to take, is it still not harmful, is it still safe? This is what it is talking about. So ensuring that the cancer of the drugs which used for the treatment of this cancer are sterile, and the ultimate responsibility of this manufacturer is to take strict action and start tightly controlling this contamination of these drugs and everything. And by the time when they are reaching the destination, are they still working, are they still in a condition to, मतलब वो जो critical effects रहता है, if it is not राइट मतलब इट्स नॉट इन ए राइट सिचुएशन टू टेक, पैकेजिंग या शिपिंग के वजह से कुछ भी हो रहा है या उसका टाइमलाइन हो जा रहा है, तो इट माइट बी कंटेमिनेटेड. सो वो कंटेमिनेटेड को लेने के वजह से द प्रोसेस इज अनफॉरगिविंग, बिकॉज ऑफ विच अगेन दे आर getting lots of huge impact on their health and everything. So how can this handled? Exclusively those low and middle income countries are facing significant challenges. For example, in Nepal, limited resources and expertise mean that there is no effective testing and monitoring of these imported medicines. So exclusively ये जो medicine का help other nations से ले रहे हैं, are they in a situation to afford the technology to test the what it's called quality or timeline and duration of all these things. So in 2019, when 5 young patients from Saudi Arabia developed a high fever and one died after taking an Indian made medicine given at the same time as a chemotherapy drugs. In the same year, 4 children died. So these are kind of consequences or case studies or observations. So उसके बाद में WHO ने क्या किया? It started maintaining a rapid alert system for dangerous drugs, and where it has put several mechanisms in place to keep a check on drug safety, especially in the low and middle income countries. And one is such global benchmarking tool, a tool that assesses and rates national regulatory system on a scale. So आपको ये पता चलना चाहिए कि what is this global benchmarking tool. So these kind of points very much important, and as I already mentioned, you can write these observations and points in your mains related or essay related health related essays. These are the facts, recent observations. Note it in your notes, and उसको explain करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है भैया. Just whenever you are feeling like it's necessary to write in your mains answer, just go and write it there. Can GI tag prevent cultural misappropriation? इसमें बहुत सारा डेटा दिया गया है. ये आर्टिकल बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. It's exclusively talking about June 2025. It's a spring or summer 2026. It's exclusively talking about menswear show in Milan. Italian luxury brand Prada unveiled a footwear inspired by India's GI tagged Kolhapuri chappals, sparking accusations, cultural misappropriation. So this is what this article is all about. So here they are talking about intellectual property rights. What are these intellectual property rights is all about? What is this TRIPS is all about? Go back to your economy, check the basics and do a little bit of homework. So what is this TRIPS? What are the acts? What are the protection of industrial properties? What is this geographical indication of goods? यहाँ दिया गया है, एक बार देख लीजिए. वो आप अपने नोट्स में लिख के आराम से थोड़ा क्रक्स लिख लो. So for now there are nearly 658 GI tags or tagged goods in India. तो इतना रहने के बाद what are the states with highest number of GI tags? What are the state with least number of GI tags? And what are the different tags on products given to different states? So how far this misappropriation of culture can be handled? How far this origin of goods causes unfair competition or passing off can be handled? And how this originating of GI registration registered region and this territorial and see simple भैया GI tag इसलिए देते हैं exclusively it's a kind of giving them importance recognition both to the region, to their culture, to their tradition and exclusively to the uniqueness of that product. It's a kind of understanding the origin of that particular product. So how far this can be handled if these kind of things can be taken place? That is what is article is talking about. And yes, they have given few previous incidents and observations when they were talking about basmati rice and what happened in 1997 exclusively all these things. And yes, so geographical indication is a form of intellectual property rights which is identifying goods as originating from a specific country or region or locality with different distinctive qualities and characteristics. So India as a TRIPS signatory enacted GI since 1999 and which just came into action 2023. All these things important points. एक बार अपने notes में थोड़ा ये synopsis लिख लो. Quiz, just go if you feel like these are helpful for your preparation. Just make a note in your notes. Oh, nice. So for today we have completed the session. I hope it might be very helpful for your wonderful preparation of UPSC. Study well, do repeated revisions, try to write important points in your notes and try to reproduce them in your relevant mains answers. Whenever you need any kind of assistance or help, we are here to support your sincere preparation. Make sure you are doing really genuine hard work to reach your aim. And yes, if you feel like not doing well in your preparation, you can happily ask us any sort of mentorship or suggestion. And yes, do follow channel regularly and maintain that consistency. Hopefully you will be reaching your aim soon. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so much.